KPBS On Demand is supported by Splatero, helping homeowners pay off debt or for home improvements by offering streamlined access to your home's equity with no additional monthly payments or new debt. Splatero provides a lump sum payment in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Learn more at splatero.com.
Welcome back to another edition of listener-supported KPBS Cinema Junkie podcast. I'm Beth Accomando. Cinema Junkie is on a holiday break, and I'll be posting archive shows in December and January. I'll be back with a new podcast on February 1st. This week, I decided to pull up an archive show appropriate for the Christmas season, but one with some perverse holiday cheer. That means turning to a podcast I did a couple years ago where I spoke with Mark Nutter and Cynthia Carle, the creators of Christmas Smackdown. You still have a chance to catch this year's show, called Get Lit Hanukkah Special, through December 23rd at Hallenbeck's General Store in North Hollywood. But fair warning, the holiday songs they create are full of alcohol abuse, arson, decapitation, dinosaurs, divorce, demons, fatal sleigh accidents, and a lot more. Nutter and Carle have performed Christmas Smackdown in Los Angeles almost every year since about 2006, except, of course, for that year that they forgot. Sometimes it's only Nutter and Carle performing, but this year they're joined by Brian Gillespie, Liesl Hansen, and Graham Skipper, all alums of my beloved Reanimator the Musical show. So enjoy some holiday cheer Cinema Junkie style with the creators of Christmas Smackdown. So here's the archive.
How rich are our Christmas traditions. Some are even older than the mall. As we watch the drifting snow, let the spiked eggnog flow, and we'll run through the ones we can recall. Here we come a-wassailing. Tell me what the hell was that about? In days of yore, you'd break down a stranger's door and drink till his wife would throw you out. But in every Christian household, there are round red ornaments suspended from the piney boughs. Whatever do they represent? Heads, severed heads. Severed Swedish heads, the severed Swedish heads. Why severed heads of severed Swedish heads?
Okay, that should provide a clue to the kind of sick and twisted spin Cinema Junkie will be taking for this holiday episode. So consider that fair warning. I am straying a bit off the cinema path today because my two guests are so deliciously depraved that I couldn't resist ending the year with their annual Christmas Smackdown show. My guests today are Mark Nutter and Cynthia Carle. I was introduced to their work when I covered Reanimator the Musical for NPR back in 2011. Mark worked with Stuart Gordon to create a musical stage version of Gordon's 1985 Splatterfest film, Reanimator. There, that's my slim film connection for this episode. And Cynthia was in the cast. I fell in love with that musical, and I dedicated podcast 41 to it, if you want to go back and take a listen. Then I heard that the two of them work on something called a Christmas Smackdown that was irreverent and hilarious. So I had to see it. This year was the first time that I could actually make a show, and I grabbed the two of them for a quick interview before their last performance of 2016.
For a splash of Christmas red, let's hang ahead the severed Swedish heads.
I am here at Hallenbeck's General Store for a very special Christmas episode. I am here with Mark Nutter and Cynthia Carle for Christmas Smackdown. So who wants to tell me what is a Christmas Smackdown?
Yeah.
What is the Christmas Smackdown is I think in one of our years we said it was all your most cherished holiday sentiments pinned to the mat in an Argentine death choke.
That one year, that's exactly what it was.
And it's that's kind of what it
it's a
still
pretty accurate description.
So what inspired this, and when did it first start?
We don't remember.
We were trying to remember if it was 8 years ago or 9 years ago, so we're going to say 15.
Yeah. And what happened was I had a bunch of insane, just wrong Christmas songs, and Mark had a bunch of insane and wrong Christmas songs, so we decided to put them together into a show that we've always done in this space called the Christmas Smackdown. And then we wrote a couple of songs together, so we've got some that are mute.
Created some new material, yeah. And then we, as the years went by, we kept adding and adding and adding. Now we have to cut things now.
Yeah,
we're embarrassment of riches.
We do. We've cut some really favorite songs. I heard about it last night from people.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. But that's just life. And one year we did it in Chicago, and one year we did it in New York. And so it's having some, stretching out a little bit.
It's become an alternate Christmas tradition for many people. Many sick people like ourselves.
Now, I was introduced to both of you and your work through Reanimator the musical. And we've just been served some dinner here so that Cynthia doesn't have her stomach growling through the entire performance tonight.
I know.
So I met you guys because of Reanimator the musical, which was brilliant. So tell me, what can somebody expect from a Christmas Smackdown show in terms of the music?
The music is, cheerful and bright songs that run the gamut, from...
cheerful and bright songs that run the gamut of cheerful and bright songs down into horrible...
That deal with
horrible,
alcoholism,
deadly,
suicide, decapitation...
arson...
furry obsession...
Yeah, that
one's
one's
this year,
not
but
this year. Yeah, the furry song. I'm sorry we're not doing furry speech in that because it's a good song.
Drunken...
A lot of alcohol.
Christmas time is for drunks. Christmas time is for drunks. Holly, mistletoe, Christmas time is for drunks.
A lot of alcohol abuse and animals misbehaving because they're inebriated.
Well,
Divorce. Divorce.
Cannibalism. We forgot cannibalism.
Cannibalism and divorce.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. What can I tell you?
Well, I want to play some clips. You sent me some of the songs, but one of them begins like a song we all know.
You better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
So the starting point for this is something very familiar, and if you're not listening carefully, you may not realize that this song is mocking the whole Christmas tradition. So tell me a little bit about this song before we hear any of it.
I suppose we're going to talk. You're talking about the Santa Claus number. Yeah. I don't know. I just became interested in the idea of how people internalize authority. So it's kind of about that. I feel like I ought not to say any more.
He knows when you're awake. He knows that you're maturing with every breath you take. He knows that you've had feelings that make you warm down there when thinking of a teacher or straddling a chair. He knows you've been exploring. He knows your hands have found their way beneath the covers to roam and poke around. You can't keep it a secret, 'cause Santa knows you well. That's why he's gonna send you straight down to Christmas hell. And there you'll suffer torment beyond your wildest dreams. The sound of sleigh bells jingling will cover up your screams. They'll tie your hands behind you in a pretty Christmas bow, then feed you rancid eggnog beneath the mistletoe. You'll choke on Christmas cookies with bits of broken glass, while elves with flaming pitchforks impale your naked ass. And so for endless eons you'll tremble and you'll quake at the power of Saint Nicholas.
So where do you get your inspirations for these kind of things? Because in this one, you're using a traditional song that people are familiar with.
So be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
And then just going off in a completely left turn direction on the lyrics.
I think we basically love Christmas music. This is our downfall. We really love it. And
May I tell?
you may, yeah.
If you haven't seen Mark Nutter exposed to Nat King Cole singing "O Come All Ye Faithful," you haven't lived.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem.
You think you know Mark Nutter, and he's cynical and he's a hard ass. And can I say hard ass? Good. And he becomes a little puppy, with a weepy puppy when he hears that song.
I do. I cry big time when I hear that. Something about it. I don't know.
And we throw in, we use sort of as ballast in this show. We have a couple of of really, really pretty swear to God Christmas songs, because it gives you some place to, gives you something to bounce off in it.
And we have some serious singing chops on display on that stage because of Cynthia's other life as a choral singer. She knows these great singers. And, again, we have folks from the Reanimator musical joining us as well, and they're no slouches either.
I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to all.
Yeah, so there will be brief moments of genuine sentiment and heartfelt
Look quick.
Christmas.
You have to look fast.
Yeah, they will rapidly be undercut, so don't worry. If you feel yourself slipping into sentiment, we'll save you.
Now, you mentioned cannibals. Tell me a little bit about that.
That's the encore.
It's the encore. It's a song. It's a true story. It's a song called "The Ballad of Armin and Bernd Jürgen." You may know this story because it's just the sort of thing I think you might know. Happened in a little town of Rottenburg, swear to God, Rottenburg, Germany. In about 2002, this really did happen, and it's German cannibalism. And you can't have more fun than German cannibalism at Christmas. Ever since Armin's dear mother had died, he was lonesome as lonesome could get. Like other lost souls who are starving for love, he posted his dream on the net. He got some replies, but they all sounded strange or afraid to commit or too fat. Till one day Bernd Jürgen replied from Berlin, and he knew it was more than just chat.
Yeah, kill me and eat me, yeah, I'm on my way there. I always thought no one ever would dare kill me and eat me, meine. Yeah, kill me and eat me, meine.
Do you really want, if you want, I'm not going to give you details because you need to just hear it, unless you'd like details. It's sickening. It's really.
So by the way, after Cynthia created this song and we'd performed it a few times, Stuart Gordon directed a play on stage in Los Angeles called
Taste.
Taste, which was based on the same
tale.
incident in Rotten. I guess it was not in Rotten.
No, they reset it for that. The playwright, whose name was a wonderful play, and I can't remember his name. He set it in New York, and it worked very well. And Chris McKenna from the original Reanimator was in that play, and he was wonderful. But the song predates that by kind of a lot.
By kind of a lot, I know. Yeah.
By March, Armin had him all cut up and labeled. By April, he'd eaten a third of it. He watched as his tummy grew great with Bernd Jürgen and gave birth to each little turd of him. Armin was faithful and ate no one else, though his insides were growling and gurgling. Bernd Jürgen with couscous, Bernd Jürgen tartar, Bernd Jürgen, Bernd Jürgen, Bernd Jürgen.
Yeah, kill me and eat me, yeah, Christmas time there. Why roast a goose when there's my derriere? Kill me and eat me, my dear. Yeah, kill me and eat me, my dear.
Another song that you sent me that I got to listen to involves angels. And angels who aren't necessarily doing their job.
Yes, they are substandard angels. And it's it's not a word that really scans well or sings well, so I don't use the word substandard when I'm describing the angels.
Use another word that we're
And
not
that-
sure is suitable for broadcast.
You can say anything you want on a podcast.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the song is called Angels because you don't want to give away the store too much, but it's really, the refrain is shitty angels.
According to my friends, there's angels watching over me. They're up there all the time. And just because I do not see them doesn't mean they are not there. It doesn't mean that they don't care. If I get mugged in Union Square, must mean that I got shitty angels. I got some pretty shitty angels. According to my friends, these angels work in every town. They're guarding all of us. They keep us well and safe and sound. I saw a disaster on TV. Some said their angels helped them flee. Their angels rocked, but apparently the folks who died had shitty angels. They got the really shitty angels. My friends are losing patience. They say that I'm resisting the whole mysterious angel thing. If I would just believe, if I would look around and listen, I would hear the angels sing, hear the angels sing. Out my friends were right. I hear the angels singing now. I understand the deal. It all depends on knowing how the ranks of angels are assigned. The sleekest wings, the sharpest minds, the ergonomically designed, state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line type angels are never yours and mine. They serve a more discerning kind who won't put up with shitty angels.
It really did come about because I had so many friends who told me that they were really seeing and feeling angels just everywhere. And I just went, and I wrote the song.
The angels guarding you and me, they
sleep till noon and watch TV. They trade their harps for GHB. They pee their pants in an emergency, and they only sing when they're hammered. Gloria. It isn't fair and life's a bitch, and you can swear and stomp and twitch, but if you're chronically sub-rich, you're gonna get the shitty angels. You'll always get the shitty angels.
Now, are you both New Yorkers?
I was there for many, many years. I was acting for a long time, Broadway and off-Broadway, and jump out and do a regional show, come back. So that was what I did there for a long time.
I am currently a New Yorker, although I lived out here in Los Angeles for about 19 years. And then, I moved to New York by way of Chicago. I've been all over. But I come back here only for Christmas.
I was just going to say, I was born in New York, your music and your sense of humor seems to have a little bit of a New York slant, because there's this edge to it, and I don't know what else to describe, but there's a certain tone to it that feels very much at home.
That makes me happy that strikes you that way. That makes me feel very good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, got me a little cynical, a little sophisticated, smart, elegant.
Yeah, a little bit of fuck you.
Oh, yeah, a lot of fuck
Exactly.
you in there.
Yeah.
Oh, we've opened the gates now. First shitty and now fuck you.
Well, I got permission from Beth.
Well, that was all right.
So, when you're doing music like this, which is humorous, are you approaching it from a very serious angle? I mean, so how do you tackle comedy in music? How is that different from something else?
I don't think things are funny if you are not taking them seriously. I think you take stuff very seriously, and then it's funny. And if you're trying to be funny on top of funny, you're double joking it, and you're going to fail. So for the most part, our approach is, pretty straight ahead.
I suppose, except when it's not.
That doesn't mean you don't end up screaming. I mean, you can certainly end up screaming, but it's still coming from some kind of real.
A real thing, yeah.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
For me, so frequently, it's anger. I think, rage and anger. Yeah, I'm not alone in this. Rollo May said creativity is born of anger. So
then he went out and punched somebody. It was terrible.
And then he wrote a book because he was so angry.
So give me a little background in terms of how you've come to this place. What your kind of background is in music.
Oh, in music, I'm the jack of many trades, master of none, pretty classic. I studied acting in school, but I always had a little music going on. I played piano in church. That was, I started playing piano when I was like 5 or 6 years old. Wow. And I was much more employable as a piano player than I was as an actor, so I chased that down.
Especially when you were 5. I mean, that's because that's impressive.
Yeah.
People want that.
They wouldn't let me in the clubs that wanted to hire me. And then I started writing, and I got jobs out here in television and movies writing. So I've been all over the map. But, music just has that special tug. Always keeps coming back to music for me.
And did you actually study music?
Never. Self-taught.
Yeah, likewise self-taught. I because I sing, I did musicals. I've done that thing that you do when you can sing, and I don't like a lot of musicals. The ones I like, I really love, but for the most part, but I did some.
Yeah.
I know we share that. But I did the Broadway musical deal, and then I came to LA and started writing, and I became a screenwriter, and that kind of really took over my life in a big way. And I started singing. I started performing as a singer-songwriter, really because of a woman named Melanie Chartoff. Do you know Melanie? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, she said, you got to start doing this at more than just my house. She said, you got to get out and do this. So she made me do it. I owe her. And then we just, this sort of took off as yet another thing, but...
Yeah, and I was, after not getting work in Hollywood. After getting work in Hollywood, then I got no work in Hollywood, and I was terribly depressed. And I said I should come back to the music. And so I started writing a show with 3 friends from Chicago who had also been transplanted out here, and that show was called The Bicycle Man. And I got to do a bunch of songs in that and get back to that, and it was really fun. And a mutual friend of ours, Elaine Aronson, was working with my wife, who's a comedy writer at the time, and said, you should meet my friend Cynthia Carle.
Here's the story. I saw The Bicycle Men. Elaine said, you got to see this show. I saw The Bicycle Men. This is true. I saw The Bicycle Men 7 times before I ever met Mark Nutter. That's how great it was. That's how funny it was. And I don't see things twice.
And Elaine said, you should meet my friend. She's seen your show 7 times. And I said, why would I want to meet this woman? She sounds insane. But I did meet her, and she was insane. But it was a very sort of complimentary insanity to my own.
Yeah, then we discovered that we were in fact siblings, and that was the most fun.
Well, the fact that you mentioned you don't like musicals on the whole may explain why I love your music so much, because I share that same feeling.
Wow. Yeah, I think there should be a little secret society of us who don't. Yeah. Don't have that love.
I'm not a very musical person. I actually consider myself quite musically challenged and tone deaf and can't keep a beat or anything. But I want to go back to your Reanimator work, just because talk about seeing something a lot of times. I think I may have seen that more than 24 times, including crossing the Atlantic to see you guys in Scotland. But the music never got tiring. It never gets tiring. And I always feel like on some level I'm finding something new in it. So how do you accomplish something like that? What is it, to somebody who doesn't understand music, what are you doing that's different from what a lot of other people do?
Well, if I knew the answer to that question, I would have done it over and over again many times. I could bottle it and sell it. I don't know. It just kind of came rushing out of me. I see Reanimator and I'm like, where did that come from? Where did that song come from?
Such a great, unbelievably great score. Yeah. I just want everybody in the world to hear it because he just did such a great
just had some vague ideas, that maybe it's a horror musical. I should listen to a lot of Bernard Herrmann, which I did, and stole from him. And just kind of grabbed at any sort of notion that was available to get the music out. And Stuart Gordon, never done a musical before, and I just started, writing scene after scene. Yeah, great, keep going. There was not much calculation behind it at all.
It's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous piece of work. I look forward to. The original cast album is going to be a thing very soon.
Yeah,
you know about that, right?
This summer, and watch this space for more details.
Well, it just seems like the music is complex. It seems like there's multiple things going on at the same time in terms of the music and in terms of what's being sung as well.
Yeah, again, I got artsy. Sometimes it seemed like also, important to be artsy.
You did that great structural work. His songs in that show move the story forward. They're rarely just a kind of a sidebar for a character or something. They're really usually making something happen.
It was helpful to have a strong story to begin with, and I did. The script that Dennis Paoli and Stuart and William Norris came up with is a pretty clean narrative line. So that work was done for me, and I just had to go. And Herbert West is an amazing character. He's kind of like what a musical likes, that larger-than-life character with a huge drive, like Mama Rose and Gypsy.
I give life, I give the gift of reanimation. I give life, I give it freely, this is my calling. I'm the modern heir to Prometheus, bringing fire to man. I give life because I can. I'm not saying I'm God. I'm not saying I'm God. I'm not saying I'm God. I'm God. I give life with no purpose, life for its own sake. a songbird, life like a hailstorm. I've a desperate need for vitality, so I give and give. I give life so the dead may live.
In terms of singing it, because you were one of the performers in Reanimator, in terms of singing it, what was that like, and what did you find enjoyable about doing it repeatedly?
Doing it repeatedly. Well, I'm used to doing an 8 shows a week deal, so that never gets old for me. When it's something good, when it's something really worthwhile. And Mark's stuff, it's not easy to sing. He's got intervals from space in there, and it's very, very tough. It was particularly tough for the people who don't read music. There was a lot of pounding out of parts. So I was a little bit luckier in that way because I could read it. But it's complex, like you said. It's complex and twisty, and
That's great.
it's got such excitement in it all the time that it made it very singable.
And it also seems to be, like, in terms of style, it's like there's one that sounds like a tango, and there's one that sounds like it's out of The Sound of Music, and then there's another one that, so you didn't stick to just one particular style.
Oh, no, well, that's my comedic sense showing, If I thought something could be funny, then I'd grab it, I thought that Dan talking to the dean about how he just saw a cat brought back to life, that should be modeled on I Could Have Danced All Night from My Fair Lady.
Which you probably can tell now that you think about it, right?
He brought a cat back to life. Herbert West brought a cat back to life. The dead cat screamed, "I'm alive!" or so it seemed to be precise. West did it twice. Herbert West brought a cat back to life. I saw the cat and I laughed. Never mind that, it's fine, it snapped in half. I was odd, I felt giddy, and I thought that I could fly. I'm still real high, since Herbert West brought a cat back to life. My head was a swarm of buzzing bees as I pondered the possibilities. This is great, it's momentous, it has weight, it's more than grand. Please understand, you can blame my elation on reanimation. Herbert West brought a cat back to life.
The tango between Dr. Hill and Herbert West, tango, I thought this was interesting. I just found out when I was writing it is a dance that was performed between two men in Argentina. Men in a brothel waiting for the next courtesan. So to pass the time, these men would dance the tango with each other. And I thought, oh, wow, that would be fun to see these guys doing a tango together. So that's where I Will Be Famous came from.
I will be famous, I will be famous. Done the work, I'll take the prize. I will be famous, I will be famous. You will vanish, I will pay the prize.
Now, to return back to Christmas Smackdown, there are some other songs. I think you called it the Cheer Mix?
Oh, Christmas Cheer.
Christmas Cheer. So talk a little bit about what is Christmas Cheer.
That's what Christmas means to me.
Remember how we mentioned alcohol and alcoholism being a running thread through the...
Yeah. I don't think you need to know much more about that other than just getting blotto around the holidays seems to be my new tradition.
See the lights, yes, I do. I love my friends, who are you? Sorry, I'm sorry about your rug.
For people who can't be here, explain a little bit about what this space is like. And you have a very cozy stage here and a very cozy...
The general store here is impossibly quaint. I guess it was built by a Hollywood prop master.
I think it was here before that, but then it became this prop shop. This is there's a guy who dresses sets, and that's what all this. I mean, you're looking at all this amazing stuff, and there's a lot of stuff here on the shelves for sale. These little plaid teddy bears, or gingham rather, teddy bears over there, and that
stove
kind of
right in the middle of the room. It's
Wood
just
stove.
it looks like the Cracker Barrel that you'd find in Evansville, Indiana.
You know, except it's real.
Except it's real.
It's real, and then there's a pounded tin ceiling that's real. The floors are wood. It's tiny. The stage is just absurdly small, and we cram.
50 people is a crowd in this space.
Oh yeah. We've done it. We've crammed, I think once we went upwards of 50 in here, and it was insane, but it can be done. It can be done. We may be doing it tonight.
And it's such a quaint sort of environment. It sets off our songs rather nicely, too. You know?
We have to ask them to not run the espresso machine during songs. They've gotten very good about that now.
So do each of you have a favorite song in this collection?
It's always kind of the newest one, you know? I mean, I like doing the stuff that works, but when you know, it's my writer talking, you know?
Yeah.
That when you write something new and you do it for the first time and you get laughs, it's like, that's my new favorite. There it is.
Do you know, it's funny because I realized last night, in fact, when I was standing there listening to it, my favorite song is a song that I wrote that he sings. And it just...
fun.
Last night you killed me in it, and I was sitting there thinking, wow, I actually wrote that, and Mark's actually singing it, and it just made me very happy.
And what's the name of that one?
It's called Home for Christmas.
I'm afraid to ask what it's about.
Las Vegas is involved.
I won't be home for Christmas. I'll be in Las Vegas singing I'll be home for Christmas. Face it, baby, there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe I'll be home for Christmas next year, but I doubt it. I won't be home for Christmas. You'll have to muddle through without me. Kiss the kids, and if they cry, just stream my stuff on Spotify. 'Cause home for Christmas is not where I'll be. Tell little Chloe I'll bring her a shot glass. And for Jake, an ashtray with his name. I'll be home in April, and for 6 days in July. But for the holidays, there's just no place like Lucky Lulu's Starlight Lounge. And I won't be home for Christmas. No, I'll be in Las Vegas, swinging I'll be home for Christmas.
And what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what is it that draws you to writing these kind of songs?
Oh, I think they're necessary, and I don't hear anybody else really doing them to the extent that we do.
Pardon me if I'm chewing into your mic again. I'm just starving. If you want to bite of this, please feel free. It's where the cynicism that we both have comes right butt up against the incredible sentimentality that we both have, and we end up writing a show like this.
Yeah, I think.
You know what I mean?
I think that's good. I think that's right.
Yeah.
You know, I still, in spite of myself, I still, give in to some gooey Christmas feelings. You know, I try to snap out of it. That's when the alcohol helps again.
Somebody told me you wrote a song about, is it Baby and the Paper Shredder?
Oh, yeah, the Baby Shredder song. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's marvelous. And we tried a rather good music video of it, too, that Cynthia is featured in.
Yes, go to YouTube and look for Mark Nutter Baby Shredder. Seriously.
Yeah. It's about a man with a dream who goes to the patent office and tries to patent his baby shredder as a way to prevent identity theft.
She said, do you mean you want to get a patent for a tiny version of a paper shredder? I said, you've a misconception of exactly what my baby shredder does. It shreds whole babies. Today there's a problem we can't ignore. We see people victimized more and more. Identity theft can cost you lots of cash. You must take precautions whatever you do. You don't want a criminal tailing you and finding an unshredded baby in your trash. I saw from her shocked expression this could take a while and would be harder than I first expected. I said, if you please, a moment to acquaint you with the many features of my baby shredder. The slot on the top has been streamlined. It's 3 times as wide as the paper kind. That was a fault of previous designs. The baby solids get freeze-dried. The baby fluids seep down the side through durable, long-lasting copper lines. You can shred up to 4 babies before emptying the bag. Of this I'm sure. You can shred up to 6 if they're premature.
It's one of the only songs of his that I've had friends say, I'm sorry, that's just going too far for me.
It seemed to be one of the reasons I think that Stuart Gordon tagged me to write Reanimator. I think he saw that and he said, "Oh, this might be the guy."
Oh, I was just going to say that also, if you're at YouTube looking at Baby Shredder Angels, there's a video of Angels online, the Shitty Angels song. Go to Cynthia, Carle, Angels.
Out of this collection of songs you're going to be playing tonight, which one do you think goes too far? Is there one?
I don't know if we've accomplished that, have we?
No, I'm thinking that there's certain moments of the cannibalism event might maybe kick it out where people don't really want to go.
Yeah, I think so.
Some people wouldn't really want to go.
There are a couple of
what else?
mental pictures that
exactly,
song paints
exactly.
that might...
Oh, and also we heard last night. We heard a lot of ouch kind of stuff when we were singing our divorce song, which we wrote together. It's called All the Best. It's 2 people wishing each other all the best.
Now it's over. Seems our romance that began must end.
I'm not bitter, but like you said, it's over. And as a friend, I wish you good things.
All the best.
All the best.
I wish you all the best.
All the best.
May the trucks that carry all those cars never drop one on top of you.
May the ice beneath your skates never crack and send you down into the depths of some dark lake alone and screaming.
May you not catch any sexually transmitted diseases from the losers you're sure to spread your legs for.
This is a very intimate space. You can see the audience very well and their reactions. So what kind of reactions do you get? Are you getting people who are fans of yours and completely go along, or do you ever get that moment where there's a gasp?
There's a moment where there's a little bit of a chill of that feeling of, am I supposed to laugh at this? It's a song called "The Fundamentals of Christmas," and it's two fundamentalist Christians trying to come to terms with the fact that Jesus was Jewish. And there's a little moment sometimes where people new to it are going, "Do I get to laugh here or not?" And then by the end of the tune, yes, they're laughing.
It's the very first Christmas in Bethlehem town. The shepherds are watching. The starlight shine down, and it's cold in the manger, and the hay is Carle. He's the sweetest little Jew boy in the world. You can't hardly tell him as he sleeps in the stall. His horns ain't grown in yet, and his nose
couple people walked out last
We
night.
did lose some people,
Yeah.
and we don't know why.
We don't know
Who
why.
were those people, and where did they go?
We hope they were offended. It probably was just something minor, like they had to, feed the meter. But we'd like to think we offended them.
Well, this notion of offending people with humor is something, especially right now with this year's politics. Do you feel there is a need to offend people through humor, and what does that serve?
If this were visual, I could show you the Venn diagram where I think, obscene is over here in this little circle, and then humor is over here, and then they intersect, and in that little space where they intersect, there is stuff that's really filthy and funny, but a lot of stuff that's really filthy just isn't funny, and a lot of stuff that's funny isn't filthy. So it really doesn't, it's, you know what I mean about the Venn diagram?
I know. I use the example of my comedic heroes are Monty Python, and I always think about Mr. Creosote throwing up in the French restaurant repeatedly. These guys were not dummies, but somehow they got away with it. When smart guys do really gross and horrible humor, I'm there. If they're not that smart, or if they haven't done something that's not gross and it's still funny, then what am I trying to say here? I don't know.
For me, the big fat political humor that I know there's going to be a lot of, it's almost. The Donald Trump is such a wide, that's a barn door of a target you cannot miss. And I just don't write stuff that's kind of, I'll find some little corner of observational something that makes me go, what's that thing in the corner?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Obscure.
Yeah.
A friend did a musical review in Chicago this fall called Fuck Trump, where she approached all the songwriters she knew and asked them if they would like to contribute something, and I did, and then I'm realizing, boy, this is awfully familiar territory, and every song is going to have a Tiny Hands reference and a Hair reference and a Build the Wall reference. It's kind of limited, so I think in a bigger picture, I just want people to get giddy and silly. I think that would be a bigger service, I think.
So you said you've been doing this show for 8, possibly 15 years.
Yes.
And and you keep adding to it. So how do you keep it fresh, and how do you keep your interest and excitement about it up each year?
It's a short season, for one thing.
Yeah.
We slam this thing up. We do it for 3 nights or 2 nights, and then we're gone. So it's
and
not.
I don't perform that much outside of This is my big moment on stage. It's like I rehearse for a year, and I have 3 shows, and then I go back and look forward to the next year. So excitement is no trouble. It's like a big event. It would be a different story if we were doing the Broadway thing. Like 8 shows a week, then it would become a grind.
I think that would kill you, because I know what your attention span is about doing your stuff over and over.
Yeah.
I'm used to it. I can do that for some years. That's an okay thing.
I would be. Oh God, I played piano for long-running shows. Boy, after 3 months, I was just praying for actors to fall or forget lines, just anything to shake things up a little bit.
Is there a place for you to play this kind of music, or to find an audience for this kind of music? Is it hard? Is it a small audience? And do you basically just kind of do this on the side while you have other jobs?
Well, yeah, because like I say, I'm a screenwriter, and I also just finished a novel. So this is, and I do the singer-songwriter thing as well. But here's what we were talking about last night. What we feel like we need is somebody who may be out there who is a producer kind of person with massive energy, massive idea, who gets what we're doing and is an intersection to with the rest of the world. You know what I mean? So that could be the conduit. Thank you, to the rest of people. Yeah, so we find that person who can connect us up with audiences, and then we would love to just have this rolling. We did it in Chicago with 4 people that were not us. So that was cool, because we realized the material. Not a single one of them was us. On any night, I feel like we know that the material stands up without us, which is cool. And you'll see tonight, we've given away a lot of our songs to these wonderful people who are in the show with us. So,
all right, well, thank you both. They're playing the music, they're cueing everybody, so.
Nice transition,
Yeah, thank you so much. Beth Accomando, I am your fan. I think you're so great.
And thank you for the Christmas treats. Beth made Christmas treats.
There's alcohol involved.
Yes.
With alcohol involved.
Yes, let's
Hitting
go.
all
Why are we
the
sitting here?
There's nothing as pathetic as a reindeer who's been drinking. Now Vixen's gonna talk too much. Tell you all a story. Not the kind of thing you want to hear on Christmas Eve. I'm sorry, but up there in that sky tonight, on the magic flying sled, driver is not who you think. Santa Claus is dead. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thanks for listening to this sick and twisted holiday edition of the KPBS Cinema Junkie podcast. If this has put you in a charitable giving mode, then please go to kpbs.org/feedthejunkie and give till you can give no more. We'll be ever thankful. But if this episode has turned you into a Scrooge, then maybe you could head over to iTunes and just give the podcast a review. That doesn't cost you anything, but a little bit of your time. I'll be on holiday break this month and next, but I've picked out some of the most popular episodes to entertain you during the break, in case you might have missed them. So get ready for some Batman nostalgia, some real science, and a little something to put you in the mood for the Oscars next year. So till our next film fix, I'm Beth Accomando, your resident cinema junkie.
Ours is not the nicest hotel in town. We're really broken down. We're a disgrace.
We have a lobby that's filled with trash. Our doorman has a rash and half a face.
We're not in the fromers.
We're not in folders.
Our tubs have roaches.
Our sheets have odors and they're wet. And yeah, we're the perfect place to stay this Christmas season. If you'd like to kill yourself for any reason, welcome to the Christmas Suicide Hotel. People who are tired of living think it's swell. There are razors in the cupboard, there are sleeping pills on the shelf, there are sturdy hooks just right for hanging mistletoe or yourself. Welcome to the Christmas Suicide Hotel. Here comes the customer.
All the expenses make me want to cry. Finally, I found a budget place to die. They have reasonable rates for someone on the skids. The money that I saved, I left to my wife and kids.
Welcome to the Christmas Suicide Hotel.
Isn't like the twag.
People are tired of living, think it's swell.
And essentially look.
There are razors in the cupboard, there are sleeping pills on the shelf, there are sturdy hooks just right for hanging mistletoe or yourself. Welcome to the Christmas Suicide Hotel.
I came in to visit in-laws for a while. I was not a bit morose, not by a mile. But when I got a room and went to bed that night, what am I to say? It was wrong, but it felt so right.
We had made a pact to end it all because we're Local 27 Shopping Mall Santa Claus. So take the little kiddies home, we won't be back. Oh, Merry Christmas,
Welcome to the Christmas Suicide Hotel.
This is your place.
People who are tired of living think it's swell.
Away. Today's the day.
We'll give you belts and shoelaces as soon as you arrive.
There's a balcony so you can take a twisting platform dive.
They offer turn-down service, they offer central heat, and continental breakfast
If you're still alive to eat.
Enjoy some cable TV on a 3-foot plasma screen. Feel free to freeze to death inside our roomy ice machine.
And every time you stay, which is once for the average guest,
You'll earn bonus points which you can share with someone who's depressed. We know that it's the season for grief and broken hearts. So why not end your Christmas before your Christmas starts? Have a merry, 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 merry Christmas, Suicide Hotel. We'll leave the gas on for you.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Splatero, helping homeowners pay off debt or for home improvements by offering streamlined access to your home's equity with no additional monthly payments or new debt. Splatero provides a lump sum payment in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Learn more at splatero.com.